Good morning, everyone. It's Peggy Houchin from Peggy Houchin Jewelry. The reason why I have my sunglasses on is because I got new lights in my shop. It's so bright in here I have to wear sunglasses. So Jared is filming me today. My wonderful, talented nephew is filming me, and we both have on our sunglasses because it's very bright in my shop, but I love it. So Jared, I want you to see my good-looking nephew here. He's got yeah, there he is. Hey Jared, say hi.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Okay, just kidding. So, yeah, I got new lights. I don't know, Jared, if you can kind of show how bright it is in here. It's like awesome. I'm finding things that I'd lost a long time ago. So anyway, it's great to have good light. So anyway, I'm just going to talk about what's on the bench and we'll get going. So last week I talked about these elk antlers that I do. And this one is all done. I just have to set the stone so you can sort of see what it's going to look like. I'm getting ready for my show in Saratoga, which is going to be Friday and Saturday. I still have to set this little stone, and then it's ready to go. And these are either direction, so I have left facing and right facing. And like I said, sometimes I set elk ivories here, sometimes I set a stone here. So, and these are on my website if you're interested in one. And I can also custom set a different stone, whatever you like to have. Okay, so there's that one. This is a pendant that I'm working on. This is basically just about done. I just have to do some cleanup, and then I will be putting a bail at the top. This stone here is really pretty. It's actually a composite of spiny oyster and turquoise. It's from the Kingman mine, so they actually use real turquoise and spiny oyster, and I believe this is some type of opal, I think, and then it's stabilized. So it's a good. I mean, it's actually very pretty, but some people don't like it because they don't think it's a natural stone. It is a stabilized stone, but it's very pretty and obviously beautiful color. So that's a custom order that I'm doing for a gal, and we'll be done with that pretty soon. Also, I want to talk a little bit about fitting bezels to rounded surfaces. So this is a hammered ring. It's going to be a man's ring, and obviously I need to cut it down a little bit. I'm not done with it yet. It's been soldered on the back, and this is about a size 10.5 or 11 for a man. So I'm going to be setting an elk ivory here because I get a lot of requests for elk ivory jewelry. I don't know if you can kind of see how that's going to look. I'll put it actually in the bezel. And I get a lot of requests for elk ivory jewelry, especially from the Wyoming group. So I've already cleaned the elk ivory up. I have to cut off the bottom of the root of the tooth. And then typically I don't do anything with the shine. It's just the natural shine. So when you do a ring like this and you have a bezel that's going to sit on the top, so you can't take a flat bezel and set it on top of here because it won't solder on. So what you have to do is you have to shape this so that it sits on top of the rounded surface. So this is the same you would do for a cuff or anything like that. So you can see that this has been ground down so that it fits on that surface, okay? So there's a trick to doing this, and I learned this from someone else, but it works really, really well. So what I have is I have a series of wooden dowels, and you can see I have all kinds of shapes and sizes, and these are all labeled. Don't quite remember where I got these, but I can look back and see. They're all different sizes, and I think the largest one is like a 24. That doesn't have anything to do with ring sizes, so don't think about that. So what you do when you have a ring or a cuff, you need to find the dowel that fits pretty close to the size of whatever ring you're working on. So this one is very close. It might be a little bit tight. This is the number 19, and this is, like I said, about a 10.5 size ring. So you take your dowel, and then what you need to do is you wrap it with a pretty high grit. This is 150 grit sandpaper. And you can tape it if you want. You don't necessarily have to. And then you use this to shape your bezel so that it fits on your ring. So, for example, I'm going to have Jared follow me over because this is This is kind of a, oh, by the way, my poor little Mitz has got a little owie. Hey, Mitz. She's a little sore on her right front leg or left front. So anyway, she's going to the vet today. So I'm going to have Jared come over here. So what I do is I take the dowel and I wrap the sandpaper around it and I put it in my vise and tighten it down really tight. This is a really good trick because the other way is pretty difficult. So what I do is that bezel has to be sanded this way versus this way, and it could have been either way. So what I do is I hold onto the bezel and I sand up and down like so in order to get that shape, and it's sitting on the dowel that fit on the inside of the ring. So then it files this down perfectly so that it fits on the top of the ring. So I'm going to have him come back over here because I forgot to bring the ring with me. So the nice thing is that then now when I solder this on, I might have to sand it just a hair, but that bezel sits perfectly on top of that, and then I'll be soldering that from the inside, and then there's no gaps. This works great if you do any type of bracelets. If you do a bracelet, what you would do is find something that fits on the inside of the bracelet. So for example, if you have a baseball bat, which is what I use, then I would get that so that it fits inside of the bracelet, and then I'd wrap that with sandpaper, and you do the same thing. You have to sand that down so that it fits the curve of the bracelet. So anyway, I hope that helps. Hope you guys all have a great week, and I will be, oh yeah, also I have been working, thanks Jared, I'm still working on my new collection. I'm actually taking it to Saratoga with me this weekend. I'm going to be unveiling it as soon as I have it cast. Right now, I'm just going to tell you a little bit. They are cast pieces, and they were cast in bronze, and then I'm going to be casting them in sterling silver. So that's all I'm going to tell you, but I'll be telling you more about them in the next few weeks. So have a great week all, and thank you all for tuning in. Take care.